Nah,
You got glasses, and we actually couldn't read that.
in.
But it's okay, because we got game number 1, returning for Jetbean and Clem, Rygunduz and Doggo. Doggo, by the way, of late has been really tearing it up. I think that we've been seeing a return to some really strong performance from Doggo, but how do you feel about their team lineup going up to what we just saw a second ago with Jetbean and Clem?
So I feel like this is going to be one of those things where, all right, we are at LAN. We cannot talk about what has happened in the past between players like this. Now, in terms of team matchup, it should be, I think, in favor of Jetbean and Clem, which is going to be a wild take, I think, because I still think statistics-wise, the blue team is the favorite.
Yeah, and I was just looking to see if there's no head-to-head between these two either. So these teams haven't run into each other in the past, maybe individually with different lineups, but
because you got to think about it, when would they have happened? This is 2 different regions, and it's like that part of bracket where they would never interact.
Yep, and right now, Doggo and Rygunduz, we're holding a lead, but that looks like this one could fall here too if they can close it out. Weapons also voids him though, and he gets back out, he gets the wall touch, so Rygunduz holding on to that just a little bit longer.
Okay, here we go. I like that. Neutral life from Clem. I'm going to go ahead and secure that stock out. And I mean, honestly, pretty decent game, all things considered. A little bit of a favor on the blue team, but not by much. And of course, we do have that Alucard looking fantastic as well.
I am such a fan of seeing Alucard over here. Of course, things have been changed up a little bit with the introduction of Ezio joining into the roster, but we didn't really see a whole lot of them outside of ones, really, at Autumn. So remember, we're saying secret weapons that could be out there. People might have figured things out here, as Doggo is currently on them. But Rygunduz, of course, with the consistency of Koji, you always want to have something like that in your back pocket. And they're going with double sword. You know what I'm surprised is? We haven't seen Lance yet, and a very minimal amount of gauntlets, which has kind of been throwing me off.
Yeah, I feel like we saw a decent chunk in that very first game.
Oh yeah, they went with
some Valves. We had some, I forgot the Valve. some Yoga Fire, But despite that, I mean, this game starting to run away a little bit from the red team. They have to find that KO on Rygunduz ASAP if they want to have a shot to bring this one back.
Yeah, and they just came off of a match and they're coming right back into it. So you got to put that last one in your back pocket because you still got 4 to go. As Clem is going to go ahead and convert on that, take him off to the side. No power play available. Doggo just hovering around that soft platform saying, you're not going to hit me. Like, I will let you hit me with maybe 1 nair in the air or something like that, but that's all you're getting.
And you know what, that's perfectly fine as well, because if Doggo wants to run, that means Jetbean and Clem can go ahead and go for the 2v1 on Rygunduz, and then once they finally find that moment, they can go ahead and close it out. But now they're both in the red, and there's not a lot on Jetbean here. Sweatbeats come out, he won't be able to make it back. It's going to be a 2v1 for Clem, and I feel like Clem has been playing so well up until this point, but that's a recovery burn, just a dodge, gets hit by the pogo, and there's a perfect weapon throw to go ahead and close that out.
I am looking specifically at that moment where, GGs are going out. I was looking specifically at that moment a second ago. We were just talking about where Doggo was on the left side. They had the ability to 2v1 on Doggo, and Doggo didn't get hit. During that whole time, they could have potentially taken the lead away because of that. But because Doggo was evasive and they came back, they were already pretty damaged. They couldn't afford to get hit afterwards, and they were able to remove Jetbean from the picture. And that has been pretty consistent so far. Jetbean has actually been the one who's fallen first each game, minus game 3 in the last set, and now it's continued here. So Jetbean's gonna have to figure out some better defensive habits in terms of trying to keep himself around, because Jetbean's kind of the one they need to close out the combos. It's Clem who's your party starter, and you're there to go, convert off of it. But with this Valve, of course, they have some startup as we get into game number 2.
Okay, maybe this one will go a little bit better. We saw a little bit of a team combo there, and I want to see more of that. In that last game, we did see a team conversion into that Barraza Blaster side to go ahead and secure the KOs, and that's really the issue I'm seeing with Jetbean and Clem. They're racking up the damage, but can y'all secure the KOs? It's kind of extremely important.
Yeah, it's very, very important. You get that damage, but if you can't actually knock them out, you're going to be in a rough spot. But they do have a good amount of damage right now. Neutralize not going to be enough to take them off the side. Recovery just misses on Doggo. Doggo once again touching the ground, and they get one. Can they close it out on Doggo? Sear's going to take it out as they strike with 2.
Okay, there we go. I was a little bit scared before because we saw there was a moment where Clem could have secured the KO with the blasters down there off stage. Wasn't able to line it up, but was able to clean it up soon after. We need to have that accuracy, that dexterity to go and make sure that your moves are connecting where they need to. You may not find another chance.
Yeah, exactly. There's very minimal opportunities that get left on sometimes. But Jetbean really picking it up here. Big punish there on the sideline, but good punish there coming in from Rygunduz to capitalize on that, and they strike with 2 as they only put themselves in the yellow after getting knocked out.
Okay, here we go. Doggo and Rygunduz, right? Doing the absolute work in that first game, bringing it back, and now trying to answer back in this game too. And so far, they racked up a lot of damage on Doggo here. We haven't seen a whole lot still in terms of team conversions on either side. Outside of that one conversion in game one, I'm still looking for more longer combos.
I think that's going to be a big thing that happens throughout the entire weekend is that the teams who are able to convert on those more consistently when the small opportunities are available with how good everybody is the ones going to come out on top. Because as easy as that sounds on paper, the pressure is on the line to not mess those up. As we see a recovery punish right there coming in from Rygunduz, catching Jetbean, dodging directly above him, knew the dodge was burned, and sealed the deal.
Yeah, and this is the tough part with Clem on the Brawlhalla here. You have those blasters, fighting those KOs without a SIG is going to be pretty difficult. And usually when we see, I was gonna say, where's the down SIGs? Usually the down SIGs are the ones that are your bread and butter go-to. We finally see one rip from Clem there, but doesn't connect. And now the blue team, Doggo, almost trying to read the soul there.
Well, at least they're able to get one out, but I think something that might be happening when you're talking about Clem with the D6 is that when you're in these positions, sometimes you second guess yourself. Yeah. Like you overthink it because you're trying to keep simplicity as key as the play. But you occasionally need the big plays. You need to be able to also put fear in people at ledge so you can make them afraid to rise up. But good shot from Doggo, but he does not get Jetbean, who was to the left of him after he sent him away.
And now Rygunduz is on borrowed time and is making the most of it with that conversion into the neutral stick to go ahead and close out that stock. And now yet another scenario where it feels like the red team should come out on top. Could potentially not go that way, but we do see Rygunduz fall, and now this is a very different story.
Yeah, most important thing they needed right here. Gonna go get that recovery off the top. We have the first 1v1 that has come down to pretty much any of these games so far. Trying to find a D-Light there pretty soon, maybe send Doggo off stage, with Doggo being so evasive, getting away from pretty much everything right now, Flambeau.
Okay, and at this point, Clem's like, all right, D-Light recovery will get the KO. Down SIG will get the KO. If I can get these to hit, a down air has to go for read, goes for jumps there. Might have been true at that range. It can be true sometimes. Other times it's like, you know, you're playing a 50-50. Are you going to jump or are you going to die?
I'm sorry. When I see someone hover up and down underneath the side of the wall, and Clem just stood there, just waited, like, are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you finished? Okay, cool, Sayer. Like, he just waited until he finally poked his head above the ledge and was able to close it out. Clem, of course, with the lead, but another thing that happened there was Clem was at least able to finish the job that time. Once again, Jetbean falling first. So if Clem is starting to pick it up, hopefully that starts to play over to Jetbean, because I want to see Jetbean pick it up. I am a Jetbean fan. I want to see him like get things going here. But so far, it has been Clem's consistency that's been keeping him in the game, and they were able to at least stop Doggo Rygunduz that time. Does that happen again as we go into game number 3?
Yeah, and the thing that's got me sweating is like that game. At the end, you're like, oh, that's not so close. Like 2 stocks to 1 in a 1v1, but you have to remember it was a 2v1 right before that. And like, had they gotten rid of that stock from Clem, at this point in bracket, every single person at BCX and their partner probably has a 0 to death labbed out. And so like, if they were able to get with that, if they're able to get that stock off of Clem, it would have been 1 hit and KO.
Yeah, and now we're going to see a switch up to Miami Dome. This is where we started off the entire tournament. We're going to take a trip back over here. I kind of like the idea of this too, because it does help with Axe, of course. But we're going to see a switch on Jetbean, by the way, over onto Cannon instead. How are you feeling about the switch?
Cannon's always a weird one in 2v2s. It does have some true combos. It can convert, but priority is always the issue with that weapon, especially when there's so many hitboxes being thrown out on the screen. Where do you find your moment to go in and get your hit without hitting your partner or not running into something else?
You know, maybe this is what Jetbean needed, because Jetbean, of course, in ones, we've seen the Mordex, and the Mordex has gone crazy. Sight for life, as everybody's been saying this entire time. But with the Cannon play, Cannon has been popping off a bit of late too, in small doses, so maybe he just needed to have potentially some big reads available to him to try and get things going.
Yeah, and honestly, I think screw the Cannon, man. It's all about the gauntlets. Clearly, from what I'm seeing, it's like, yeah, my character does have Cannon, but up until this point, just now, it's been the gauntlet show. And the moment we switch over to this Cannon, we're getting sent off stage and maybe losing that stock soon. We'll see. There it is. Going to be a nice, I believe that was a neutral lane on the orb there, getting the KO.
And there's Doggo sealing a double knockout, answering right back. Doggo has been very consistent on the blue team at being sort of an AC to staff, whereas Rygunduz has constantly been that support, with, of course, converting in quite a few scenarios where they've actually got team combos, but they do finally find Doggo, who has been that staple of defense so far. They need to figure that out if they want to continue to hold a potential game 3.
Okay. When I like the target swapping from Jetbean there, they need to be careful in scenarios like that. That could have been a huge team combo for the blue team. You want to make sure you're not positioning yourself on top of your partner, because you end up in very precarious scenarios like that one where it's like, this could just be it.
Weapon toss down is going to go ahead and clutch Clem. That does allow them an opportunity, and that there's going to go ahead and get Clem potentially. No, gets the wall tie. Here comes Jetbean to go get the save. That was so important.
Yeah, I mean, you saw me looking at the screen. I'm like, Jetbean, if you do not walk your butt over there right now, bro.
I actually like the look that came in your face. Like, if you're not back in the house when the lights are up, you're going to be in trouble. Like, so, very well done. But also avoiding everything in the skies is Doggo. Clem trying to get him up the top. Recovery's going to find the mark, though, and that puts the blue team in a very momentary lead because everybody's pretty much heavily damaged.
And this is what I like to see, man. I like to see a scrapper. You know what I mean? I like to see a set where people are, it's a tug of war. You know, I get some, you give a little give, and we go back and forth with it. And just like that, the blue team managed to push ahead just a little bit, but then Rygunduz falls. And look at the amount of damage we see.
And look again how Doggo refuses to get hit in those spots. They actually can never get a power play on him when they have a 2v1, but they did find him there, so that was super crucial. Even game across the board. This one mattering a ton, as whoever walks away with this gets to go up 2-1 in a set.
I've said it a million times before, game 3 is always the most important, bro. You want to make sure game 3 is the one that you win, because it is paramount to your success for the rest of the set here. And so far, it looks like the blue team's going to be the ones, especially with a dealer recovery that high up, but it doesn't even matter because on the opposite side of the stage, Clem is getting cleaned up.
And Jetbean is instead being the one here on last stock situation to try to go ahead and catch him on the side. Like, no conversion off of there. Rygunduz just a little bit too far away. Rygunduz trying to catch him over on the side stairs, not going to find its mark.
Nice. Oh, where's the weapon spawn? Okay, to the platform. You can see that Jetbean is looking for anything, goes for the immediate ground pound. Like, can I get a quick cheesy one? Won't be able to find it there. Has to get somebody off stage first to make this happen. A sidelight recovery is not going to KO any member of the blue team right now. But if you do it that high up, if you get 2.
Jetbean is picking it up, but the recovery finally takes it out. You can only run from a Tori for so long, and that is going to give them the 2-1 lead we mentioned before. Having that extra bit of cushion, being able to be up in the set count, giving you a little bit less stress overall as you move up, of course, does help a ton. Do we see another character switch come in here after we just saw one?
I don't know, because we were talking before that, like, man, we really love to see Jetbean kind of like hold it down. And I'm looking at the damage, and I'm like, Jetbean had like 659 damage, and Clem had like 200 something. So I'm like, Clem, what happened in that game? Like, if you were playing the way you were playing the other games, and I mean, clearly Jetbean was like, I know what I got to do, so like, y'all got to get the memo, you know what I mean? Like, exchange notes, man. Y'all can do this, but I have to give credit to Doggo and Rygunduz. These guys are absolute fiends on the sticks.
Yeah, they have been alternating on who has been the main piece. You need to work together. You need to work as a unit, because this is 2v2. This is 2 teams together to try and get the job done. But so far, Doggo and Rygunduz able to strike and get themselves up 2-1. Feeling pretty comfortable about that right now. And we're going to see the commitment on the Onyx. They're going to stay with the Onyx for this game. I honestly think, I mean, hey, for one, he survived the longest that time. And the damage was way higher, as you were just pointing out.
3,
so
2,
we'll see how things go as we get into game number 4.
Okay. This one could potentially be the final one of the set if Jetbean and Clem cannot clutch up. And so far, I mean, Jetbean on this cannon already carrying Doggo off the side of the stage, doesn't have many resources, and there comes Rygunduz with the save. That was paramount. It was all up to Clem to keep him away, and he couldn't.
Like we said, Doggo's been the ace, but now the ace has fallen when the ace of the staff is getting hit that early, when Doggo's defense has been that good, and Jetbean is all over him, and it's usually Rygunduz to keep the saves. Flambo, all of a sudden, this is looking extremely different.
Yo, but Jetbean putting the jet in his name, man, because right now, he is going. He was just taking a little bit of time to warm up, get the turbines nice and hot, and now I can see it. He feels the momentum. He's like, I think I know how to play around these players, and he's shutting them down.
The explosive factor right now is coming into play. I feel like Jetbean has finally figured out what he needs to get the knockouts where he couldn't before with the Akuma, and now it's on the blue team to answer back, and they've been able to do that multiple times when they've fallen behind. They've been able to strike very quick as their damage has been minimal so far, and they already have Clem very deep in the rank.
Okay, there's a setup there, but immediate response from Clem. And honestly, I think the difference that I'm seeing from the red team here is that they decided, hey, you know what? I feel like I should play point, and you should go ahead and play Anchor. And they're like, all right, yeah, let's swap roles. And all of a sudden, Jetbean is like, I can just let loose, bro.
I think you actually might be right on the money with that one, too, because before I feel like it was too much of Clem trying to get set up for Jetbean and Jetbean overextending in weird spots with Val. But now, like, so far it's just looks so much better. Now here and that's going to be recovered off the top, and they continue to hold this lead. It hasn't faltered, and they just missed the team combo.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised if maybe that was a misinput there. A lot of times you'll see Onyxes go for the gravity cancels down, tick on gauntlets to hit sideways, and their partner can get a follow-up. But either way, still going to be a solid amount of damage as Jetbean and Clem have a pretty sizable lead in this game.
Yeah, they not only haven't relinquished the lead, they've been taking minimal damage. Jetbean may have decent amount, but that is been very impressive so far. Clem gonna fight his way out. He lights there, setting him off to the stage.
Can Clem make it back? Oh no, edge guard, sweat beads and everything and nothing. I'm surprised there, but despite that, goes ahead and manages to find a KO. That's the setup. No recovery off the top there. Couldn't time it right, but still on the defensive here. Can Clem make it back? Beautiful weave in between the hitboxes.
I'm not gonna lie, Clem crazy for that one. Like when they had the power play, just jumped right in, like go ahead, do something. And they did something. It almost led to a knockout on the recovery. But there is, not Doggo, Rygunduz again has been looking for these very high spear recoveries repeatedly and almost got one.
Oh, Jetbean. Okay, I was getting scared for a second there because Jetbean couldn't find a way back down to the ground for a second, but now we have both members in the red. There goes one going down. You can see Jetbean throwing out these down six that I was talking about a little bit before earlier. But look how much space it covers there. And ideally, you should be able to bait Doggo into doing something that Jetbean can punish, but up until this point, it's actually just been giving Doggo free hits.
Yeah, and usually Doggo's been the one who avoids everything, but as we always expect and we love to see here at BCX LAN, we have gotten back to in-person. We have quickly our first Game 5.
And that's what I'm looking forward to. Look at those damage numbers across the board, man. We have 446 damage coming out of Clem in comparison to that 200 some odd I was talking about before. That's what I need to see. You know, we have the consistency in the 630 coming out from Jetbean. So, like, clearly Jetbean has, like, figured it out. He's like, I know how to hit these guys. I'm going to just keep doing that. And meanwhile, on both members of the blue team, they averaged around 470-ish damage each, so like they're both doing fine in their own right. But Game 5, this is going to be who can adapt the best and when it counts. You're not allowed to drop KO conversions in Game 5.
No, not at all.
It makes the difference.
Also, big difference. Remember, this is the elimination side of bracket. You're sitting in a spot where you are out if you go down here.
Facts.
This is just to get the phase 2 pools. Not even
Isn't that
phase
wild
3.
to say?
Like trying to get out of phase 2 right now. With how insane this match has been so far, that's how stacked this competition has been. And I cannot wait to see who comes out on top. This character swap over to the Onyx has made an incredible difference for the red team, moving away from the Val. Here, does Doggo and Rygunduz figure it out? Can they stop this and potentially take it all?
Okay, and it looks like the map for Game 5 is going to be Apocalypse. We have the same legends on the screen here, same teams. We're just going to duke it out and see who's better, man. If there ain't no better way to do it than that, I don't know what it is.
All right, and now, of course, going into this here with Apocalypse, it fits the theme. Because one of these two falls is the end of days for them right now as they're trying to keep themselves in the bracket, keep things going in the elimination side. Very even so far, of course, but the separation starting off well for the red team. Rygunduz boxing away with those dares now to stop Jetbean.
Oh my goodness, and this, I always get a little bit scared when I see this because this game has started off with 2 separate 1v1s and Jetbean and Clem have been winning their 1v1s respectively. And I'm like, this is twos, man. You don't have to play the game like that. If you get separated, they are really strong ones players. I know this for a fact. You do not want to give them the separate 1v1s because they will download you and cook you. So hopefully the blue team gets something, and I guess that's one way to get things done.
And they do, okay, so it worked out because they did get a revenge KO. Well done by Clem to punish that after he saw, oh, you throw him down, I'm gonna go get that. But if Jetbean was able to get that wall touch, that would have been a huge L for them in that situation.
Yes. Okay, just like that, we have such a close game. A side chick gonna come out, not going to be enough to secure the KO. Clem on that Brawlhalla with just enough defense, but gets hit there, and that's why you're not allowed to do unarmed neutralite in 2v2s. It has so many active frames that someone can just like be like, are you getting hit? And then just hit you for it.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing has been Doggo is getting hit way more compared to earlier, because Doggo was the one who refused to get hit, and now Rygunduz is doing a really good job of holding on to this lead. You need to keep this right now. I know that, obviously, easier said than done, very cliche thing to say, but as that Sarah falls, Doggo is already deep in the red. You cannot afford to go down this far.
And can see, especially in these moments where we find Rygunduz has been KO'd, the red team is making much more of an effort to close in on Doggo. Even if they're not finding the hits before, they just kind of let him wander around the stage and say, okay, well,
literally just said, you got it, bro. You want to get in the club? They just go ahead. Like, it was no issue at all. But now they're actually forcing that position control as they find Doggo's knockout right there. And Jet being switched over to Onyx has made such a huge difference. As that one toss down, going for the ground pound, misses out, and Rygunduz is going to get back, but that was almost such a big play.
Okay, and just like that, another chance at victory here opened up for the blue team, but they have some work to do. We have deep red on Rygunduz here, looking for maybe a recovery on either of these weapons from the red team. Should be enough to secure a KO or a down here. Heck yeah, we'll take that.
Hey, you try to go ground pound on me out here. You had two of us out here. What are you doing? As now Rygunduz is falling. They do find Jet Beam though. This is an opportunity, but they missed the Sair into the combo follow-up. You already saw Rygunduz was waiting for the follow-up Sair flambeau.
Not in game 5. We just talked about this. You can't miss that in game 5, but Doggo gets a revenge punish hit right there to secure the KO. Bring things down to 1 stock apiece. Who will come out on top here? Will it be NA or will it be the EU?
That's what we were talking about before. Pressure's on. You have one falling right there. Doggo's already out, but Jet Beam might fall soon too. Rygunduz can't get to him though as Clem separates him. Rygunduz changing his focus over to Jet Beam as quickly as possible to see if he can get it. Misses
no
though.
Dodge, no punish, only 1 hit. You gotta see, Jet Beam has to stay. This has to be beautiful and perfectly executed. Game 5, Jet Beam and Clem go ahead and secure that one, and a mini pop-off to say, you know what, boys, we got it.
And something I love to hear, the crowd behind it. The crowd popping off with that intense game number 5. What an incredible start. What an incredible feeling we've had already to start things off here with 2 games. We just saw this team go down a little while ago, 3-0, and they rebound back here to keep themselves alive in this bracket.
Love to see it. I love to see a game 5 close out with a team combo like that, because we were just talking about before, in game 5, you can't drop team combos. We saw Doggo and Rygunduz, they had their shot, and they fumbled the bag. On the other side of things, though, they were able to get that clean. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the moments that made the magic happen in that set.
I mean, there was so many. A lot of that in the start, of course, was on the fact that Doggo, we mentioned before, was refusing to get hit. And that whole situation came from the fact that the red team couldn't get to him. Clem was able to get a big clutch factor, though, as he was able to get rid of Rygunduz just before this, catching Doggo. This was so funny as Doggo goes, all right, huh? Can't see me. Nothing's going on. What do you do about it? Oh, yeah, cut that out. Clem.
Oh, man, yeah, that's
Clem gets this there. That was so funny.
And even in this one here, right around Miami Dome, managed to find the recovery under the platform. We were talking about how annoying Spear could be on that stage, too. Okay, and here we go on this match right here. It was a moment where it was like, all right, come off stage. And I love the way, that's pro Blasters play right there, is like you have to be able to space yourself against the wall so minutely that when you like drift into it and get all your jumps back as you're putting out the Sair.
And there's the game-winning play right there. We were talking about drop combos. Something that happened a little bit before that was that Sair. Take a look, like the damage overall just kept increasing, specifically after the Onyx. Very, very solid play overall. I was super impressed by what we saw to Jet Beam and Clem from their adjustments that they made. But you know what? You also want to hear from? Let's go ahead and take a listen, of course, to the analysts over at the desk to see what did they think about that incredible switch from Jet Beam and Clem.
Oh my god. Can we talk about that game 5 real quick? Can we talk about that team combo KO between Jet Beam and Clem? Duke, how do you feel? What do you think? That was incredible.
You know, it was an absolutely amazing set. Of course, the casters just a moment ago were talking about the crowd getting hyped for it, and that's just such a great energy. And again, just reminds me of how amazing it is to be here in person, getting to see this cross region, the Australians versus the North Americans. I'll admit, I was rooting for the Australians, but you know what?
Too.
It's okay. Still amazing sets overall.
It's interesting because we looked at that last set as you look at it sort of out of context. You see it in a vacuum. You see just that set, and you see those two teams going up against one another. There's a winner, there's a loser, but you also have to step back and look at that in the grand